Welcome back. Uh, this subject, the topic of this video, is going to be something that I've been chewing on in my head for a couple days. Um, there's another YouTuber. He makes very, very large tanks. Very good fish keeper. Has all kinds of fish. And then he has a discus tank. And I understand his approach because he's overwhelmed. The guy's got just so many huge tanks. It's got to be overwhelming. And well, he made a video and he was bragging about his discus. And I mean, they're healthy for what they are. They're alive and doing well. But he thinks he's winning the discus game, and he's not. His fish are a few years old, and they're quite small and underdeveloped. But he made a video saying, look at my tank. I've got a sump with a bunch of plants in it. I've got plants all over my tank. And then you look at his tank's bottom. He never gravel vacs. And he's just letting the plants do the work for him, like they're any other cichlid. And he thinks he's winning, despite the fact that his fish are smaller than mine. His tank is twice as big, and they're several years old. Sure, they're staying alive. You can keep discus in a swamp, and that's what I replied to the guy. I said, you can keep them in a swamp, if you don't mind small discus. And that's the point. That's the point. Okay, a discus keeper doesn't want a fish to stay in the 4 to 5 inch range. Okay, if you're going to keep discus, the reason why you want to keep your gravel clean, your filters clean, and do water changes regularly instead of just loading the tanks up with plants and letting it go, is you want nice, big, round, magnificent discus. You want to get those 9-10 inchers, and that's where they should be. They should basically be double the size that this guy's fish are. And it's not that he's a bad fish keeper. He's just applying his knowledge that works very well with, excuse me, hiccups again, every other fish he owns. It works well with every other fish he owns. And but that's where people make mistakes with these fish. I can't treat my discus like my Oscars. I can't. I kill them, or at least stunt the hell out of them. They would get sick easy. It would cause problems. I just, you can't run these fish in a tank like that. I can't say, you can't say can't, because he's doing it, okay? But it's not right. Fish are stunted. They probably won't see a 15-year lifespan. They'll probably be dead in a couple years. It's just not the way you do it. But he put a video out going, you don't need heavy filtration. You don't need to do a million water changes. All you need is a whole bunch of pothos plants all over the place, just spilling out of the tank in every direction, growing like bad weeds because you never do water changes. And they'll keep your discus alive. Well, yeah, his discus are alive. No doubt about it. They would have been beautiful fish. They got nice colors. But they're half the size they should be. And therein lies the problem. So, be real careful about who you listen to when it comes to raising up these fish. It's not that having plants is a bad thing. I have them. But I keep them off the ground so I can gravel back. I mount them all onto decor so I can move them around. And I do my water changes. And I probably do it less frequently than a lot of people would. And but things are going well. And I'll show you, when I didn't know what I was doing, right? I brought Big Red home. He was perfectly fine fish when I brought him home, and he's pretty much a perfectly fine fish now. But if you look at his eye to body size ratio, and you do that linear count how many eyeballs you can fit in a straight line up and down, okay? Big Red's what, one, he's pretty much skeletal-wise full grown now. He's going to beef up a little, or she. And he's got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's still maybe a 6 or 7 eye discus. But then you look at this guy, and he's only halfway through his bone cycle, and he's already at least an 8 eye discus. And it's going to be more than that when he's done growing. The eye to body size ratio is great. And what's the difference between Big Red and this guy? Well, it's technique and knowledge. And, you know, I learned how to look after the tank properly. So now this guy and this guy are showing the results of that. They're both going to be like epic discus with like very small eyes to their body size ratio. And they'll be very round and they'll be large. These might even hit, these guys, the way they're growing, they might even get like into 11, 12 inches, which is massive for discus. And that's what you want. You want their full potential. Okay, now I call her Big Bertha, and she is. She's muscular and everything else, but same deal. She was one of my earliest fish. I was making all kinds of mistakes. And check out her eye to body size ratio. She's only got maybe 4 if she's lucky. She won't grow any more than that. She's not a full size fish. But I'll tell you, she's way bigger than Buddy's fish are. And much more bulky looking. The snakeskin, same routine. Bought them at the same time. They actually they're related to Bertha, but they did a little worse, right? I've got like 4 to 5 eyes on that one. She's full grown. She's not going to get any bigger than this because I didn't know what I was doing. So all my fish going forward, because now I do know what I'm doing and I'm treating my water properly and everything else, and I'm doing the proper cleanings and, you know, tanks all dialed in. All my future discus will be huge, but these ones I learned on, you know, I screwed them up. Even these brilliant Turks, they're not going to be what they should be. Look at the eye to body size ratio. You know, that's inexperience right there. And then when I look at this guy's fish, it's even worse. So don't let someone fool you into thinking that you don't need to clean your discus tank and that you can put plants all over the soil so that you never gravel vac it because you'll wreck your plants and things like that. Don't fall into that trap, because the discus game is about growing the biggest fish that you can. And if you're not into it, that's fine. If you want small discus, that's fine. But you're not doing the best for them, and that's not fine. Just some food for thought. I'll catch you in the next one.